everybody, welcome back to Stamp It Like It's Hot. This month, the prompt is to stamp and then color. So I pulled out some pretty old, close to my heart stamps that I've had, and this was one of the original birthday sets that I got a long time ago. And I stamped out the cake and then the balloons so that I could do a layout in my monthly, or actually it's my year in review, but my weekly journal. So basically, I think we've seen this before back when the prompt was florals. I do a layout every week for something that's happened in a Heidi Swap 7 by 9 inch album. And for the week that had Belle's birthday, I'm going to use some pictures of Belle and her cake. So I thought this would be a great thing to do. I have another Heidi Swap birthday collection that I use a lot for cards now, but it doesn't really have anything that I could color. Now, I am not a big marker person. I'm not a big color person. I never got into the Copic markers, but Michelle from my little scrapbook store had this American Crafts collection of markers for a sale, and those markers were much cheaper than the Copa or Copic markers. I see Copa like Copacabana. And so what I decided to do was just get those, all of those, so that I would have the full collection of colors, and I use those anytime I want to color. So if you're like me and you know you're not going to use markers that often, but you're interested in having them available to you, this was kind of a good option. So I've sped this up to like 3 times because I figured watching people color is not like the most exciting. I will say I am not necessarily good at this. I picked the wrong gray to start with. I should have picked a darker gray, and in fact, I picked the lightest gray to start with, so that I had a real hard time of blending in because there wasn't anything lighter to go with. So that's okay though. What I try to do is take a dark color and then go out. It doesn't really work that great, but here I'm just doing some color blocking on the cake. So all this to say, probably if you're looking for techniques on how to use markers, this is not the video to watch. I did the best I could, so I colored all the blue ones on the outside with the dark blue, and then I found a lighter blue and put it on the inside. It ends up being a little bit too light, but you'll see how I handle that later. And then I go ahead and just put the light blue around some of the other balloons so then I can go out with the dark blue. And it's, like I said, it's a little bit too dark, but that's okay. I do love the concept of coloring with markers. I don't have as much time as I would like to learn how to do it better, but at the end of the day, this whole layout and this cake and the balloons turned out super cute. So, using different reds, this is a very primary color layout. You'll see why. I ended up just pulling some random birthday paper from my collection to use, and it all is primary colors. So I hope you're enjoying these collect this particular set of layouts that I'm doing with the stamping. The stamp it like it hot, stamp it like it's hot. That's so hard for me to say. Stamp it like it's hot. Group has been fun for me because I've gotten to do things that I don't normally do. I can tell you the last time I took out these markers was probably 6 months ago. So if it wasn't for this prompt, I wouldn't have used these markers. And right now I'm into using my stuff. So it was really great for me to get a chance to get out and use my stuff. I really appreciated that opportunity. So that was fun for me. And I hope these prompts are helping you use your stuff. So get some of your markers or your colored pencils or anything that you use that you used to use more often, and now you don't have to. Get those out and let's see what you can do about coloring in some stamps. It's a lot of fun, and it was a great kind of 15 minutes for me just to stamp. And I think I was watching some Chamel and just doing it, and I really enjoyed it. So the next thing you're going to see me do is pull out another thing in my collection that I just don't use a lot, which is stickles. So another way you could color in stamps is with stickles. I don't know how many of you still use them. I know Close to My Heart still used to sell them still. I assume they're available in stores. You can also get Nuvo has their own version now of all of this. And what you're actually going to see me use here is the Nuvo Clear. And I'm putting that because I knew the blue wasn't blending and I needed to blend it. And I don't have a blending marker. That's the one thing I probably need that I don't have. So instead, I used the Nuvo Clear to kind of blend that blue. And you're going to see the final product, but it really does work well. And I used the Nuvo Clear on the cake as well, just to make the white part kind of stand out, also to protect it when I'm going to fussy cut. So I don't make you watch me fussy cut. I thought that might be kind of a killer for the video, but I did fussy cut everything out. Now I'm measuring the pages and I always kind of get that wrong, but here are the final set of embellishments. And you can see the blue is glossy. And as I put that glossy accents, well, it's Nuvo's version of glossy accents on there, it ended up being great. So I am going to take, this is in a photo play collection, birthday collection, and then that is a, the last piece of an old, on the back of it is black balloons, an old birthday collection I've had probably, this may be one of my oldest pieces of paper. I know I got it in a scrapbook store 20 years ago. Like I've had it and that's the last of that collection. Um, and I just decided to use it on this because it matched all the colors of what I was doing. So there is Belle blowing her cake out, her cake, blowing the candles out on her cake. And here is an up close picture of her cake. We got her a Ben and Jerry's uh, cake for ice cream cake. And I just decided I would use the piece that had the big circle cut out of it because that way I would um, actually not waste the paper. But then by cutting it like that, I ended up wasting the paper anyway. So there you see the birthday on the back of that. So the last of that collection. I'm just going to put a strip of that down, put those two pictures down, and then I'm going to lay out everything else for this page. It comes together super quick. I hope you're enjoying watching these and put something in the comments if you like watching me do these smaller mini pages. I've gotten a lot of people that have asked about my kind of yearly journaling. And this is my version of Project Life, is doing this in these notebooks. So I figured I would use the Stamp It Like It's Hot collection or the videos to kind of do some of those because I do stamp a lot in this particular project, mainly because I need thin embellishments. I can't have a lot of bulk, I can't have a lot of stickers. So I do end up stamping quite a bit to make either layouts or embellishments or titles. So it's a good way for me to do these videos because it does usually has a lot more stamping than some of my normal layouts do. So that is me putting all of those pieces that I stamped and colored. Now this says, I believe, the more the candles, the better the wishes, or something like that. And she's at the point now where we can't do all of the candles. I was thinking I would use this heart, but it just didn't really fit. What I was looking for is something to stamp the date. I try to put the date on all of these. Ends up there's this yellow circle that matches the background paper that I cut out. So I'm going to put that there, stamp on that, and then cut it off. So that works out. Here's me using my stamp. I'm going to do some multiple stamps on this. And because that is kind of a slicker paper, I do use the archival instead of the oxide. So I just love how that all turns out. The final thing I'm going to show you is how it goes into the album. I end up having to take off about a 1/4 inch on the side, maybe not even that, maybe 1/8 of an inch, just because I cut it so close that it was going to go over. So I just trimmed off a little bit more. The thing I will say is when you're doing these kinds of things, to maybe make them a little bit smaller than you thought. I also want to round the corners because this has a the corners rounded. My handy dandy creative memories. I know all of you have that corner rounder. It's like the most popular one. So here it is in my handy dandy album. I hope you've enjoyed this and I hope you're enjoying all of the stamping. Find some stamps, go ahead, get out there and color them. And try to find a way to use your products. Thanks, everybody. Bye bye.